So, Christopher, how how was last class?
Pretty good, I guess.
And do you still remember what we learned?
Yeah, like strings and stuff, right? I don't.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yay. That's good. Today we're gonna learn something similar. Kind of, not really. Okay. And then we're gonna make a small app that you can show to your family and friends, which will be fun. Yeah. Anyways, okay, let's just get started then. So welcome back to class, everyone. Today's lesson overview. I don't know how this is gonna work, but my first thing on the list was gonna be a Kahoot. We can always wait until everyone else comes, or would you guys like to do it now?
Do it now.
Do it now. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Then Kahoot. Let me pull it up real quick. Oh, yay. Can you guys still see that? I hope so.
When you create a Kahoot, there's an option to make it so that you
I
can see.
yeah, I saw it before. I shall right here on. Okay, let's start again. Shall I start or am I still waiting for anyone? Okay, thank you. I guess I'm gonna start. Okay. Wow, good job, everyone.
I don't think I learned this.
Oh, we went over it last week. We can go over it again. Okay, why don't we go over it now? Actually, let's do it at the end. Okay, yeah, basically it was percent %s. We'll go over it again after the Kahoot. Yay! They were in the same part. The addition sign and the percent %s were all together. But it's okay. Wow. Yay. Next question. Wow, good job, good job. Yay. Seems pretty good. Yay. Exactly. Variable names, very important. Yeah, so um it's not gonna when we ask for input, we're going to use the input because the integer sign, it's just going to like not do anything. It's just going to turn it into an integer, but it's not going to take anything from the user. And yeah, we need to put input before the question so we can get the input from the user. Something to remember. Yes. Okay. Last question. Yeah, so if a variable for an input is just called input, what if you have like multiple places you're going to use an input? Like you're not going to know which one to use. So yeah, it should be more descriptive and specific. Input can be used as a variable name. Yeah, and then I mean, you could always keep the name, but still, if you just see a variable called input, you're still going to be confused. Like, what is the input asking for? You're like, is it asking for your favorite color? Like, is it asking for a string? Like, you have to specify a little more. Yeah. Yay. Yay. Congrats, everyone. Okay. Yay. Um, going back to the, oh my god, to the string percent %s part. Let me go back to the replit. Um, this one. Okay. So a quick review again. Basically like if you wanted to embed like 1,000 into your string, you could use %s in place of the 1,000. And then when you print it, you're gonna like connect them by using the percent sign. So when you run this, it's gonna be like I scored 1,000 points, and then you're essentially connecting the 1,000 to the rest of the string by using the %s, and then when you're printing it, use the percent. Does anyone have questions on this? Or does anyone still remember this? No questions. Okay, then let's move on into class. Okay, so, wow, we already finished one thing. Next we're going to go into our lesson for today. And we briefly went over lists last time, but I still wanted to go over it because it's slightly more complicated. Yeah, and lists are basically the lists we use in daily life. They can be shopping lists or to-do lists or any kind of lists. And in Python, it's the same thing. We use lists to store items. And then to create a list, we use the brackets, which are the square brackets, not the braces, not the curly ones. And then use quotations and commas to separate the items. Lists can store strings, integers, both strings and integers, or even other lists. And when you store another list inside of a list, they're known as nested lists. And yeah, and lists are more powerful than strings in the sense that they can be easily manipulated. Like when you create a string, you can't be like, oh, I wanted to go back and add something to the string. Like you would have to like do the %s or like use the plus sign. And lists are kind of easier than that. So we shall take a look. Let me exit out of this. My computer's like dying. Okay, so for example, we have a list called shopping list, and we have all the shopping things we need from the grocery this week. And then so as you can see, we use brackets, these square ones, and then quotations to separate each item, and then commas in between each item as well. And so if we were to run this, it would print like that. That is shopping list. And then that one was an example with strings, but if we had like numbers, like this list called sum numbers, it would become like that. And then like the next one, there's strings and numbers in it. Yeah. And then for example, you can also like put shopping list and some numbers together into another big list. And same thing, you just use brackets and then comma to separate the two lists. And then when you print it out, it's going to become like double brackets at the beginning and then double brackets at the end and then the two lists inside. Okay. Any questions on lists so far? Okay, if you guys do happen to have any questions, feel free to say them. Ask them. Yes. Okay. And then, so now we're going to move on to why they are better, not better than lists, better than strings, but like more powerful than strings. So manipulating lists. So basically means that how you change lists. If you wanted to add an item to the list, you would use dot append and then parentheses after the list name, and then you can add the value you want to add inside of the parentheses. Or like, yeah, we'll see that in a little bit. And then like we can also search through lists to find a specific item we want. For example, like you're like, oh, what's the third item in the list? And in Python, the thing will find it for you. And we call like the specific position of the item the index. And in Python, the index doesn't start from 1, but it starts from 0. So if you're looking for the third item in the list, it would actually be index 2, not 3. And then we can find things by putting the index we want in the brackets and then putting the list name in front of the brackets. And we'll take a look at that in a little bit too. And then we can also use the index position to change the value of the index of the item at that position. For example, like still with the index like 2, item 3. You're like, oh, I don't want item 3 to be that item anymore. And then you could use the index to change that item. But we can take a look at that in a little bit too. Okay, and continuing on in manipulating lists, to remove items from a list, you can use delete or no, not delete. You can use DL before the list name and then place the index of the item you want to remove in the brackets after the list name. And then if you wanted to add an item like not to the end, but in like a place in the middle of the list, then you can use list name dot insert and then the index and then the item. And we can also have like a subset of a large list, which is basically like a little part of a list, and we specify the range of indexes you want to show, such as like 3 to 7, and inside the brackets with a colon. I know that sounds like a lot, but once you see it, hopefully it makes more sense. Okay, so here are some examples. So still with the shopping list, we have this big shopping list with everything, and then if we ran it, it would just print like the first, just look at the first part, it would print like that. But then let's say we wanted to add something to the end of the list, such as like potatoes. We would use shopping list dot append and then put your item inside the parentheses. And if it's like an integer, you don't need to use the quotation marks. You can just use like, just put the integer in. But like, yeah, append potatoes. And in the second list, you can see like, oh, now it has potatoes. And this is basically saying indexes are always one less than its position in the list. You're like, oh, what's the fourth item in the list? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's bread. But then when you look at the index, it's actually going to be 3 instead of 4 because Python starts from 0. So in this part, you're looking for like, oh, you're making Python look for the fourth item in the list. So print shopping list index 3, and it says bread. Yay. Or like you can use the insert. Let's say you don't want it to be at the end, but you want it to insert in the middle of somewhere. You can use like insert index 7 and then the item carrots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should go right there at the 7th place instead of cheese. It should be like before cheese. Anyways, and then so if you print it, it should be yay right there. Sorry, it should be after cheese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Oh wait, no, it's 8. Sorry. Indexes, yes. There's the 8th item, so carrots is the 8th item now. And then let's say we wanted to delete a specific item at that index. We can delete carrots, the one we just added. It would be the 8th one. So index 7, and then delete it, and now, wow, it's gone. No more carrots. And then, or for example, you wanted to change index 1. You're like, oh, I don't want butter anymore, but I want garlic now. So you're like, oh, sorry, I don't want milk anymore. I want garlic now. So you're like, okay. And then you can take the index and then change the value by setting it equal to the new value. And then now your second index will be garlic instead. And then to get a part of a large list, you would have to do like, oh, 3 to 7. So you're like, oh, I want to have a sandwich. And which of the ingredients is a sandwich? Well, it's bread, tomatoes, lettuce, cheese. So this is the 3rd index to the 7th index. So I print that out and it shows me the ingredients for a sandwich. And then, oh, this should be to join lists, sorry. To join lists, for example, we have this numbers list, and I don't think we talked about that, but that's okay. We'll talk about this right now. Numbers list, and then a strings list. And then just like strings, you would just put print numbers plus strings, and then it would give you this thing. Or you can set a variable equal to numbers plus strings, and so you would still have the same result. And then similarly to list as well, you can also multiply strings. Basically just doing like it would just multiply however many you want. Yeah. Any questions? I know that was a lot to take in. Um, but yeah, does anyone have questions, concerns, or like somewhere we should go over a little more?
Can you go to the last one?
Last one here, multiplying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like we did with the strings before. The last one just prints that. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? No. Okay. Let's continue then. I keep forgetting this slide, but just the last two parts we were talking about, we can add and multiply lists. To join two lists, we use a plus sign, and to multiply a list, we use an asterisk. But, well, like, does anyone wonder, like, why can't we divide or subtract lists? Does anyone want to make a guess?
Well, because there's no point.
No point. Well, what if, like, in that list, I was like, I don't want this 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 anymore. I just want, like, just the first one, just the one we started with. Like, you know, I want to delete it. I not want to delete it. I want to divide it.
And just delete it.
Just delete it. No, that's true. But basically, it's like, okay, so tell me, if I wanted to get this whole list back to 1, 2, where should I divide it from? Like I could start deleting from this one, like, oh, divide this part by 6 or divide this part by 6. Like Python doesn't know where you want to divide from. All it knows is it's going to divide, but how is it going to divide? Like it's confused on where to start from. And with like subtracting, it's the same. It's like, okay, so you want me to subtract like something, but where am I subtracting from? Like you're telling me to subtract these two lists. Like if I wanted to subtract 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D by 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, like where is it subtracting from? Like where am I taking away? So it gets confused and it doesn't work. So good logic, everyone. Now let's practice lists. Um, So the practice is going to be make your list of your favorite hobbies and name it hobbies, and then make a list of your favorite foods and then name it foods, and then join the two lists and name the result favorites, and then print out favorites. I have an example I will show. So my hobbies list was the first three, and then my favorite foods list was the last three. I mean the last two. And then I joined them together and this is my list favorites. And then I printed it out. Okay, I'll leave it back up. And you guys get to it. Yeah. Yeah, you can do it on the phone. Are you talking about the practice or yeah, you can access the platform on the iPhone. The website is replit.com.
Is there an undo button?
Undo button, a backspace button,
Oh,
or what kind of undo button?
like undo, like I deleted stuff.
Oh, Control Z, or Command Z. If you're on a Mac, it should work. So, quick check in with everyone. How are you guys doing? Any difficulties or concerns? Or, oh, Christopher, you're done. Oh, Antonio, um, what's wrong with yours? Far from done. Okay. Do you think you got it? Oh no, that's unfortunate. Anyways, take your time. We have lots of time still. So, keep working. I think all of us are actually very close to done or done. So, we will move on very quickly in a short amount of time. Okay. Wait, so since everyone's like almost done, those that are not yet, keep working. Don't get distracted by me, but because next part it's a little project again, and so I'm just gonna show the instructions really quickly, and then so that way everyone can be working on something. So the little project, this one you can ask your friends, family to play if you would like to. But so basically it's like create your own Mad Libs. Has anyone played Mad Libs before? Or does anyone know what it is? Yes. Okay, that's good. You can use a template online if you want, and then use user input and string substitution or joining strings, and then create one variable per word you are asking the user for. And we can, okay, sorry, I literally can't exit out. Okay, I made one, a short one. Yours can be longer than this, hopefully. But does anyone want to play? Oh, yay, Antonio, that looks amazing. Good job. Okay. Anyways, okay, Mad Libs. Someone give me an adjective. Sure, Christopher. Why don't you take the lead? What's an adjective? Funny. Oh shoot, I'm in caps. Oh shoot. Okay, I got it. Funny. And then a past tense verb. Ran. And then another adjective. Blue, says Antonio. Blue. A noun. Pencil. Oh, can totally spell. A name. Hugh. Oh, Hugh came up first. We'll use Antonio next time. Okay, a past tense verb. Another one. Ate. Another past tense verb. Walked. A place name. Disneyland. And then the last one, a verb. Swim. Okay, let's see. I wish it had been more funny, but we ran anyways. We also went on a blue ride called Magic Pencil. Hugh nearly fell off a ride and had to be ate. Later, we went to the hotel and walked. Next year, I want to go to Disneyland, where we can swim. That seems like a great story, everyone. Yeah. Okay, so I agree. It's very not so great. Yeah, the fun of Mad Libs is basically like random words that don't make sense in the story. But yeah, you guys can start working on that. And it's okay if you guys don't finish. I mean, the ideal is if we can finish, but you guys will get time next week too. Yes, Hugh nearly fell off a ride and had to be ate. Cannibalism, everyone. Let's not practice this. But um, I hope this doesn't happen in real life, but very unfortunate to Hugh. Yeah, I agree. Eaton would have been a little bit more appropriate, but grammar is sort of hard to gauge with Mad Libs. We're just gonna try our best with this. I can put my code in chat as an example if you guys want to see it, or if you guys want to like play with it by yourselves, you guys can do that. But if you guys want it, I can private chat my code to you. Let me do that right now. Also, the thing about this code is it's kind of long because there's a lot of variables. But yeah, if anyone wants the code, let me know. I'll put the instructions back up.
Should we like create our story first, or just put random stuff and create our story later?
If you want to create your story, you can create your own story. I think like if you should probably create your story first if you're creating your own story. But if you don't want to create a story, you can just find one online. That's what I did. I took mine off the internet. Internet is a great thing. But if you're gonna create your own story, then yeah, do your story first, and then like figure out the parts you're gonna take out the nouns, adjectives, verbs for, and then start coding. Yeah. Wait, checking in with everyone again. How many people have their story that they want to do already? Has anyone found their. You got half of it? Oh, that sounds good. Half of the story or half of the app program? Anyways, it's okay. Half sounds good. How about everyone else? How much of the story is coming along? Starting. That sounds good too. I feel like making a story, I have like such bad creativity. I cannot think of stories for my life. Okay, everyone keep working. Class is gonna end soon, so I don't think we'll be able to finish, but don't worry, we can always continue next class. If you guys want to work on it at home, you guys can, but it's not required. There's gonna be time next class anyways. Yeah, okay. I'll give you guys like a minute more and then we'll have to end class. Okay. Um, Anyways, I don't think we're gonna be able to finish today. If you guys, as I said earlier, if you guys want to work on it, you can. It's not required. But yeah, the time is coming to an end. I think we'll have to end class today. Don't forget that class next time, next week, same time, same place. Yeah. Okay. Have a good day. Have a good week. Bye.